Welcome back, guys. What you saw was nothing. Didn't exist, didn't count. I do want to say something. This is props to Epsilon. Basically, Clayster's dog headbutted the Xbox. You know what that's like. You just tip the Xbox, it turns off. Clay was the host, so we all dropped. Now, normally this is a forfeit, but Epsilon agreed to replay it from the very beginning. So big props, good sportsmanship. And I don't mind going extra 10 minutes late when I see something nice like that happen there, Landon.
That is a very kind thing to do. So major props to the Epsilon boys realizing that, you know, Clay's dog, you know, you just can't, you know, it's not a big deal. I know probably
it's nicer
than
I would be.
Wants us to play fetch, you know, it's late, but, you know, fetch is always a fun thing to do. Why are you playing a 5K?
It's like, dude, why are you playing Xbox? I'm right here. Come hang out with me. I'm a dog.
Right. At least let him play.
Exactly. Pause on trollers. Worked out well. And we're losing players here, but hopefully they get back in and we can start this up really quickly. What we saw there was FaZe with about a 30-40 point lead. Epsilon was on the comeback, though, is one thing I kind of was taking note of. They locked down the top. Nagafen was doing a really nice job. You saw FaZe was trying to break it through A Street. That failed. Trying to switch it back, flip it through B Street. That's when we kind of cut out. But I think they could have brought it back into that final hill. Would they have won? Probably not. Maybe, though.
We'll never know.
And that's why we're doing the full replay.
That is true. And see a completely new map. Or not a new map, but a new game, as you could say.
New game.
But if it was as close as that one, I'm definitely excited to say the least. Because that came down to the final hill.
Yep.
Wasn't always super contested. I mean, it was at different times. FaZe came up clutch. I believe Clayster was on a 40 bomb. And I believe Royalty was also near that 40 bomb mark as well.
Royalty was going in.
Yeah. Watching his 12 sensitivity just makes me cry. Just
it's like my thumbs will never be this talented.
Turns out.
All right, we're going into the action here shortly. We got everyone back in the lobby. Nagafen, make sure you don't have your S&D classes, and we will get this one rolling. Clayster, Zuma, Enable, and Attach, of course. I was looking through trying to decide, do they have any one person that sits on the hard point? They don't. It seems that Zuma, Enable, and Attach all willing to jump on that at any point in time. I even saw Clayster in the back garage quite a bit. So it's gonna be interesting because I never really see Swanee in that hard point, and I think that might be the difference maker. Who's gonna be more clutch with the SMGs though? That's what I think is gonna come down to in this game. Clay doing a nice job at the top hard point, holding it down. Saw the same thing from Nagafen in the battle fights, but it's really all about the SMGs in my opinion.
Indeed, indeed. Swanee was a little bit quiet. We've seen him do the objective work in past games, as we know. We've been watching and been on board with Epsilon for a little bit of time. But as you said, you know, Swanee's done a lot in this map so far. Wasn't really doing a whole lot in the game we were in, but not normally the guy to get in the hard point. Normally going to be, you know, a player like Zuma or Enable at times for the other squad, but gonna be a good one. Hopefully no dogs ruin this game, but you know, anything could happen. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm gonna steal your dog if he does it again, Clayster.
Don't blame you. I would too.
Ladies and gentlemen, your grand finals. FaZe taking on Epsilon. Game 1, version 2 begins now. We're opening things up with Royalty. Best looking Canadian I've ever met.
He's got a pretty good shot on him too.
He's got, yeah, very, very high sensitivity. Makes me very excited when I watch his gameplay. A little bit sickening, but definitely entertaining.
Yep, gonna hop into this game 1, version 2, Epsilon versus FaZe. Going to see who can take this one out early on. Royalty firing some shots up top, as this is a completely new map, completely different strategies. These teams know each other and how each other play on hardpoint. Going to see how they do and how they fare against each other, as Nagafen holding down some early time, like we saw in the last game as well. You know, Nagafen trying to get in that hardpoint early on. And it looks like Epsilon controlling very well, trying to push these guys' spawns out of FaZe, and they're doing that very effectively.
Yo, I'm really impressed with Royalty's bow work so far. He's playing very cautiously around the perimeter, providing quite a bit of cover, and you can see the points starting to add up now. I mean, 30 points on your first hard point. This is totally different from what we saw in the first game. It was basically 15 to 17 at the end of 60 seconds already. dominance from Nagafen and Royalty combining at 10-1.
Yeah, Nagafen didn't even die till just that last kill, but playing very well is Epsilon off the bat. That hill is now rotated over. You can see FaZe gonna have pretty good control. Clayster in a pretty dominant position, able to grab kills from up top, but Royalty turns on him, but is eventually traded. Attached now, trying to hold down some time in the hard point, able to punch one player in the face. Turns back around, gonna be on the flank, and he's gonna try to grab some kills. He's just turning around and just making me dizzy, but that's all right. Epsilon still in the lead, playing very well. Like you said, a completely different story in this game compared to the last one.
Attach is going in right now. He started off 1-4. Here's his 6th streak since then, and he is gonna get out with his life somehow. Melee in the air, finally he's cut down. Enable trying to milk this time. Highly contested though, players from all over swarming in. Over to Swanee in the power position up top balcony. Looking down, he's able to pick up 2. 3rd player coming out, cancels the reload, able to finish. Great cover fire while Nagafen sips up that time. We're gonna see about 59 seconds to 22 as the rotation goes down. How does Epsilon plan to break the garage?
You know, Epsilon's gonna have to challenge and really just contest from all angles at one time. That's exactly what a lot of teams do. You know, they contest from up top. You have the right side, you have the left side, you have that inside building, and ultimately you can just do a bunch of different entries. And that's exactly what FaZe just did there, just now in the hard point, trying to hold this one against Epsilon. But Epsilon doing a very good job just trying to contest some points. Currently a 20-point game and just a little bit rising here for Epsilon as Nagafen once again been in that hill. I feel like Nagafen's been in the hill for most of the time. Only has 2 captures, but when he's been in the hill, he's been in there for a good, 30, 20 seconds at times. So Nagafen and the boys over on Epsilon looking good here in game number 1. And they're looking to close this one out. They want to win this game early.
I think it's a pretty solid strategy as well. You'll see Remy and you'll see Royalty kind of break the hard points. Then they push out and they leave Nagafen behind to pick up the time as he posts up with a bow. It's working so well for Epsilon the second time around. You can see the scoreboard totally different from our first go at it, 91 to 40 points. FaZe, though, has top control early on, and this is where they pull away. Clayster started off awful. He was about 3-7. Now, back to 10-12 on a 3 streak. He's my player to watch.
Yeah, along with FaZe, they rotated about 15 seconds before that hill was over, which, of course, is a normal strat whenever you have this money hill coming up next. This is where, like you said, you can wrap up points, and you can ultimately take the lead, or you can come back in the game, and that's exactly what FaZe needs to do. Another player going to be there. It's going to be Nagafen just trying to stay alive. Enable will pick him up as well. Enable currently on a 4 streak, holding down this hard point for his team. Make it almost a 5 streak.
Yeah,
Does
buddy.
so. FaZe doing a great job as 3 go down for Epsilon. FaZe just making a great comeback.
Enable's down to his last clip, though. Something to keep in mind as he can only be pushed 1 more time. Gonna find Remy. Able to clean up Remy. Remy off to a super slow start. Last game, he was about even at this point. This time around, 5-17.
Yeah, and as you say that, Nagafen in the hill currently for Epsilon. Despite Remy's 5-18 start, Nagafen on the opposite side, 17-9, 4 captures to his name. Trying to fire some gunshots outside, but will drop. 3 down for a moment there. Out of Epsilon is FaZe. Tatch currently trying to hold down some time as well. Royalty gonna turn on one player. Gosh, it's just so hard to watch him as he just, watches one angle, then can immediately turn and find another. I don't know how he does it, but starting off hot like he did in the last game, 20-14, on board for a 40 bomb here.
Royalty going in. Want to give credit to Enable as well. He had an 8 streak, only one who could end it. Zuma comes in, shoots him in the back. You'll see Epsilon trying to pull away once again. They have the final 10 seconds. No one is contesting. Look at the cutoffs. It's Royalty all over your mini-map. This young lad doing the damage. His 3rd streak in a row. Remy is now catching up on a 5 streak. Everything's working out here for Epsilon as they are definitely getting the best of FaZe in the second go at it. 4 minutes and 40 seconds left, though. Plenty of time for Epsilon to mount that comeback. If you're looking at an a FaZe player to make this comeback, who from FaZe is going to be your guy?
I definitely want to see a player like Zuma pick it up. He did very, very well in the games that we've watched him early on. In the series or in the matches that we've seen in the earlier in the day. I think Zuma needs to turn it up. He's currently 16-21, not the best start, but not the least worst either. But to me, Zuma's gonna have to pick it up. He's the main factor to me from one of the main factors from this team for FaZe. Attach also kind of in that list, but to me, Zuma has had such a great day today. It wouldn't surprise me if he starts to pick it up, but needs to do so if he wants to mount the comeback. Only about a 40-point lead right now in favor of this Epsilon lineup. FaZe trying to hold down some time. Zuma gets the nice 2-piece. Maybe he might have heard me, but he will eventually drop to one of the Epsilon players. Next hardpoint coming in. Remy grabbing those last couple seconds of garbage time. Sitting at 12 and 21. Speaking on the Epsilon team, might need to pick it up a little bit in that slang category, but regardless, his team is up as we head into the last 3 minutes and 40 seconds of this game number 1.
Royalty trying to poke out back, and he is going to be cleaned up. Nagafen inside the hard point, continuing to pick up time. Knows there's a push coming his way, can't stop it. First player in, drops everyone. It's Zuma working with Enable on the cover fire end. And now you got Remy trying to break in. 2 players waiting for him. Attaching Zuma there with the SMGs will not allow that to happen. 30 seconds left. This is big catch-up time for FaZe if they can hold on. Contention for a moment. Grenade comes in. No more points being scored by either team. Zuma have 2 players charging in. How does he deal with it? There's the first kill. Gets cut down from the side as Remy is right back in the action. The man's only 14 kills, but already 6 hardpoint grabs, and he's constantly flooding this hardpoint.
Yeah, not one player currently from FaZe really doing well. I mean, you know, all of them are negative, and it looks like just about from Epsilon, almost every player positive, except for the exception of Remy, but playing very well is Epsilon at the moment. It was almost in the flip-sided, in a sense, in that last game that we had before, things went wrong, but it was almost the flip side. It looks like Epsilon was down, but now they're up in this game, and they're doing a great job at it. Attach, trying to hold down some fire, trying to maybe hold these players from spawning up. Will eventually drop as Zuma now in the hard point, looking to grab one, finds one. Can he find the second? Turns on one, but will eventually drop. Swanee and the boys, especially Royalty, trying to hold down some hard point time, trying to increase their lead. They want to shut this one out. Obviously, of that first game, they want to be able to do that in Royalty. Gosh, it's just so hard to watch him, man.
I'm watching him off respawn. I love that he gives you headaches. He's so fast. And here he is getting picked off at the top. Swanee's going to milk every second he can. Here is the big battle for hill control at the top. You're waiting. It's Enable. Sky and high. Picking up kills from above. Attach and Enable. Picking up kills at the same time as Clayster. So 3 straight down for Epsilon. FaZe, though, they're spread out pretty thin. B Street is heavily covered, but no one is watching A, and Zuma is going to have 4 players flooding his direction all at once. Enable trying to get into the mix. There's a team kill coming in from Epsilon, though, and this could make it manageable. Enable is able to clear it once again. He had an 8 streak earlier on this hard point, currently on a 4 streak, and you see the difference between these 2 squads. It's getting closer and closer. 20 seconds left. This is going to come down to a tie near the end of this hill.
Yeah, Enable has gone so huge. I think he's had just about every single second in this hard point till he just falls, and now it's only going to be about a 10-point game. 10 seconds left in this hard point. This will definitely come down to the final one, as it's going to be the Epsilon team currently holding down that hill, but it looks like who's going to grab the last couple seconds of garbage time. Looks like it's not really going to matter. Epsilon with about a 20-point lead. Can they increase this one? Or is FaZe going to mount the comeback? That is the question. Remy and the boys from Epsilon trying to hold this one down. This is some intense gunfights going down as Nagafen actually nades his teammate. Kind of unfortunate plays. Clay gets the nice 2-piece on the outside. And FaZe, can they mount the comeback? That is the question. Attach is doing that right now, holding down some easy time.
Clay in the power position, top glass as well. Zuma trying to protect his teammate inside. 2:01 to 2:07, final 20 seconds. It's coming down to the wire. FaZe mounting their comeback, but here comes Epsilon. Everyone dropping. Clayster still inside, hiding beneath the stairs. 2-point difference, 10 seconds remain. Oh, great contention. FaZe trying to retake the lead. Zuma inside for the moment, and they will have it here if they hold on. They've got it landed. FaZe with a 20-point comeback on the last hard point.
Zuma went absolutely massive along with Clay. Clay grabbed about 3 kills, eventually did fall, came down to a 1 versus 1 with about, I think, 2 seconds left, and it was 1-point differential, and it looked like it was Zuma who came up massively in the very end. That game could have really gone either way. Clay finishing with 39 kills along with Royalty. Basically the same thing we saw last time. Both had 40 bombs, but regardless, a great, great game. FaZe narrowly able to take game number 1.
I am way too tired to try and provide commentary for plays like that. Awesome finish to game number 1. FaZe is going to be up first, 213 to 208. Incredible sprees throughout that game on both sides. Nagafen and Royalty starting off super hot. At the end, though, a lot of credit goes to Enable for the way he held down the top hard point. Attach staying alive the whole back hard point, and Clayster and Zuma closing it out. Up next, though, we're heading to Search and Destroy. Anything could happen here. If you know Epsilon, they like to make it interesting. Force to game 11, round 11. We'll find out if they can do that next.